a little bit about me. I am a postnatal certified coach. I have mentored under physiotherapists. I've worked with tons of some of the best coaches around. I am very, very passionate about learning about diastasis recti, pelvic floor dysfunction, and postnatal fitness, because this was something that, was really lacking from my world after I had my daughter, from my son too, but I didn't know. I didn't have any issues until after I had my daughter. She's 4. And, when I realized that I had issues and all these things were happening, I'm a personal trainer and I didn't know anything about diastasis or pelvic floor dysfunction. It kind of was a slap in the face. And I realized, there's something really wrong going on here with an industry that is focusing a lot on things like tummy and getting your body back and all these sort of things, but we're not addressing the real issues when it comes to a postpartum body. And you don't have to be a newly postpartum mom to have issues. My issues didn't pop up till Hazel was already a year old. So, you can have issues way down the road. Maybe your kids are older, maybe they're teenagers, and you're just hitting menopause or perimenopause, and all of a sudden all this shit's starting to crop up. Sorry, I swear a little bit, so I apologize if that offends anybody, but it just happens. So, talking about things like pelvic floor dysfunction, diastasis recti, and how it, works into, hey, Mary, how it affects us in terms of getting a tight tummy, because we still got to talk about a tight tummy. We still want to talk about big booties. We still want to talk about lean legs, strong arms. We want to talk about these things because they are important to us, and that's okay. It's important to want to train for aesthetics. I'm a personal trainer. That's what I make my living on. I like to train for aesthetics. Everybody does. That's okay. There's no shame in that. But let's do it in a way that's smarter so that we address all these different concerns, because I know a lot of you have been out there trying to change your body since babies, and maybe that's new, or you've been trying for years and years and years with not the luck or the results you've wanted. And so we have to train smarter. And that's where this awesome bit of education comes in, where we talk about how to get a tight tummy, but what could be causing you to not see the results. So we're going to talk a lot about diastasis and different things over the next few weeks. And then leading into the new year, I have this new program coming out called Tight Tummy, the Empowered Moms Tight Tummy, because it's my job. I view it as my job to not just teach you how to get a tight tummy. I want you to understand how to get the tight tummy for you, how to do the best for you in your body. Take all the information and put it together in the way that it fits best for you. Because let's face it, there's 500 of us in this group, and there's going to be more, and we are not all the same. One of us is dealing with something that somebody else is not even on their radar. And then some of the stuff you're struggling with it together, right? I've had lots of you tell me that you don't even know what diastasis is. You've never heard of it. You don't have a clue. So we're going to talk about what it is. We're going to talk about, some of you know what it is, but you've never really been assessed, and you're not really sure if that's, if it's something that you have, or maybe you have it, but you're not sure if it's something that's bad or good or what. And some of you are already pros. You have diastasis, or you've been assessed, you don't have diastasis, but it's still so important to know how to train for a postpartum body. Even if you don't have diastasis now, we want to make sure that it doesn't pop up later. If you don't have pelvic floor dysfunction right now, like leaking when you sneeze, cough, or pee, which are both are tied together, all this stuff happens, and it happens together when we're postpartum. Even if you don't have that now, we want to make sure that you don't get it later down on the road, because it can pop up when you become perimenopausal and menopausal. Yeah, right? So you might think, oh, fuck, I'm okay, I don't have any of these symptoms. Girl, we need to make sure that your training strategy and your life strategy is as best as it can be, so that you don't get those things later. Because the worst thing that could happen, in my opinion, is you're fine and dandy, and then you hit 40, 50, and now you're having to wear a diaper or a pad all the time because you're all of a sudden leaking, and it never happened before, and you have no idea why. I want to give you your best absolute chances at making sure that you feel like a boss now, and you feel this way all the way for the rest of your life. Not just now, but when you're 50, 60, 80, I want to make sure that we're not holding hands talking about what type of Depends we're wearing. That is not a quality of life. I want to make sure that you have an amazing quality of life for good. Once postpartum, always postpartum. And you'll hear me say that over and over again because it's so true. Once you've had a baby, you can't change that fact. Your body has changed forever, good, bad, or indifferent. We just have to know how to make sure that your postpartum body is the absolute best for you. So we're going to talk about all these different things in here. So today, first of all, what I'm going to talk about is I wanted to just address diastasis and a little bit more about this group and what we're going to do in this community a lot. And, you know, the theme will always change throughout the year, what we're talking about. You guys are welcome to start any kind of conversation about fitness or wellness or motherhood in this group. It's your group. It's a private group, so whatever you post will not be, you know, posted anywhere else. Nobody else can see it unless they're in this group. So you can come in and talk about every aspect of motherhood. There's never TMI. There's never too much information. We talk about vaginas. We talk about butts. We talk about poop, pee, periods, menopause. We talk about boobs. We talk about, you know, there's nothing that you can't share in here. We talk about mental health, depression, anxiety, they all tie together, guys, and we're all in this together as moms. So I want you to make sure that you feel comfortable in this group talking about whatever you want. There, Mary knows, truth. Mary's one of my best friends. And so she knows, you know, those closest to me, obviously, get the benefit of me harping this stuff all the time to them. So they're kind of like the bosses when it comes to this. They all know this stuff, but it's great to have them around because they can reinforce, you know, everything that I'm talking about, because they know I don't just preach it once in a while. This is what I preach all the time. So I wanted to come on and talk first of all about what is diastasis. So I'm going to cover that today, and then we'll carry on the conversation in the group for the rest of the week. And then next week on Tuesday, I will come in and I will talk about one more thing. And we'll talk about probably how to assess diastasis next week, because that's going to be a real big key for you. Those of you that have never done it before, or maybe you've done it, but you're not sure if you're doing it right, that sort of thing. So what is diastasis recti? And you might see this around as DR or DRAM, or there's just so many different names for it, but typically you'll see it as diastasis or diastasis recti. And what that means is it is the gap in between our six-pack muscles. So our six-pack muscles, the ones that we all want to have, and we've got them, but they're the ones we want people to be able to see. Those are called the recti muscles, okay? And the rectus abdominals. And so in between those six-pack muscles, there is a piece of tissue that runs all the way down from your sternum all the way down to your pelvic bones. So it's a pretty big chunk of tissue. It's made mostly out of collagen, okay? And so collagen, I wish I had a hair elastic. So like a hair elastic, if you've ever taken a hair elastic and used it over and over and over, and you've stretched and stretched, and eventually it's always the same shape, but it's never quite as it was when you first put that on. You put that sucker on the first time, you're like, damn, so stretchy and elasticy, and it just bounces right back to where it was. But collagen never goes back to exactly the way it was after it's been stretched. So I want you to think about that linea alba, that space, and I'll show you here. So it's that space, you know, from here down to your pubic bone, all the way down the middle. Okay, it's called your linea alba, and it's made out of collagen. So when you're pregnant, obviously that collagen, the reason it's collagen, I mean, our body's very smart. It's created in a way to, you know, make us really kick ass at life. So it stretches for a reason, right? When we're pregnant, that collagen stretches. It's there and allows our belly to grow, to expand, so that we can have a nice big round pregnant belly, allow that room for our baby to grow. Because if it didn't stretch, could you imagine how much more uncomfortable we would be, right? That would just be downright painful. That's when we would have tearing and ripping and hernias. And so it would just, hernia is totally different than diastasis recti, by the way, and we'll talk about that later. So the diastasis recti is the natural thinning and separating of that collagen, so that linea alba in between the rectus abdominals. And obviously it's pretty common sense that it's done so that we can accommodate the growing baby, right? But if you think about 10 months of solid stretching and growing and growing and growing, it's like taking that elastic band and stretching it completely for 10 months. Well, when we're done stretching it, it's never going to go all the way back. It is going to go back, but it's never going to go all the way back, and that's okay. So I want to first make you guys understand that this is something that happens in every single pregnancy, okay? Diastasis recti is 100% normal. It is 100% supposed to happen, and it is supposed to happen in every single pregnant, and it does, okay, in every pregnancy. So take a deep breath if you've been stressed out about having diastasis recti, or thinking maybe you have diastasis recti. Diastasis recti itself, in definition, is normal, and everybody gets it to some degree, okay? So take a breath. Now that you know that, now there are different stages or different classifications, I guess you could call them, diastasis recti. See, there's not a lot of research out there about diastasis recti, so the wording and the conversations around it are just very vague and gray and kind of sound worse than they really are for the most part, because there's just not a ton of research out there about it. So once you have diastasis recti, we already know that it'll never totally go back to the exact same way it was. It may appear to in some people, but it doesn't. So, and that's okay. But what happens is in that very first 8 weeks postpartum is when most of the natural healing does, right? We have that 8 weeks where our hormone levels are decreasing and changing, and our tissues are coming back together and things are healing. And again, it doesn't matter if you've delivered vaginally or via C-section. Diastasis recti can be worse or better. It just depends on the person. Genes plays a lot into it, like genetics. Nutrition plays a lot into it. Physical level of physical activity plays a lot into it. There's lots of different variables that can affect your diastasis recti. Whether you had twins, triplets, singles, it really doesn't matter. There's a lot of different, so one person can have like a little bitty diastasis recti, and another one might have like this giant, there's people that have had like, 8-finger gaps or something like that, which is quite significant, right? So it can happen in a lot of different things. The first 8 weeks postpartum is when a lot of that natural healing happens. So it's a really important time to understand what's happening in diastasis recti. So if you're pregnant now, or you have friends that are pregnant now, tell them to get into this program, because there's going to be lots of information that if they know it before they deliver, it's going to give them just a heads up on how to recover and even be that much stronger and more apt to seeing results after pregnancy. Okay, so the diastasis recti, we know it's the linea alba. It stretches and thins during pregnancy, and it never totally goes back to the same. So that's all right and dandy, but what happens is a lot of us have these crazy tendencies like holding our breath or pressuring air out into that weakened linea alba. And what happens is sometimes you'll see like that coning or doming in your belly, or like when you lean back, maybe it'll bulge out, or when you're doing a plank, it'll bulge out, or, different things. Or maybe even at the end of the day, you'll feel like you have this little like trimester belly, first or second trimester belly after the end of the day. When you bloat, it'll seem like way worse than how you actually feel. It just might appear like you're actually pregnant. I know many of us in this group have been asked, hey, are you pregnant? Are you expecting? And you're like, no, I am not. And that is really tough for somebody to hear and get asked. So, diastasis recti is something that we really want to talk about and educate, you guys on, so that you can make sure that you have the best opportunity to heal. And also just to understand everything that goes into diastasis recti. So there can be different, the way we measure diastasis recti is by fingers or centimeters. It's kind of an archaic way of doing it, but it's simple, and it's just the way that it's been done to date. I'm sure there will probably be new methods of testing for it. You can do it with ultrasound if you get really fancy and you have somebody that can do that for you. But you can do it at home by yourself with your fingers, and we're going to actually do that next week. So that's really all I wanted to talk about for you today, was tell you exactly what this group is all about, exactly what we're going to be doing. I want to know, though, your takeaway for today is I want to know your questions about diastasis recti. What do you know? What don't you know? What do you want to know? What kind of questions do you have? What have you been struggling with? I want to know what your questions are about diastasis recti, so that I can make sure when I come on the next following weeks and forever, what's bothering you? What do you have questions about? How can I educate you and empower you to heal diastasis recti or improve diastasis recti symptoms? There's really no healing that goes on. I can't necessarily heal it or teach you how to heal it. Depends on, the stage of the game and really what is healed. Do we know? No, there's really a lot of it goes into, but that's another conversation. Anyway, So diastasis recti, you know what it is, you know that it's normal, you know that it's natural. Now what we're gonna do is next week, I'm gonna talk to you about the gap itself, okay? So how big of a gap is a normal gap? How do we test ourselves so we know? Where do we have to have concern, and what is a functioning diastasis? We're gonna talk about all this kind of stuff. Guys, I could talk about this like literally for hours, so that's why I'm cutting it off today, because I can go, and I want to leave some time to talk next week. So this week, make sure that you get in here in the comments, watch the video, make sure you tell me what questions do you have about diastasis recti, what questions do you have when it comes to tummies, what have you been struggling with? Let me know. Post everything in the comments, right there or right there. I'm not really sure. On my screen, it's right there. Post your comments in the comment box, watch the replay, and let me know so that I can give you the best information possible over the next coming weeks, okay? Don't forget, the Tight Tummy program comes out in February. That's when it launches, and you will get first crack just by being in this program or in this group. So keep your eyes peeled and let me know what you need from me. Bye.